dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today we have another book talk video to share with you guys. And today we are talking about So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. If I sound a little off, it's because I am sick. Capital S sick. Anyway, let's just jump on into it. How these book talks go is I give you a little bit of info. Then before I get into any spoilers, I give you a warning so you can click away if you don't want to hear them. So, this is my second Rachel Harrison. I read The Return a few years ago and I really liked it. And I had kept meaning to read the other ones like Black Sheep or Cackle, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. However, when this one was announced, first of all, this cover, gorgeous. And I knew it was about vampires, so I was like, okay, we're going to pick it up here. Anyway, so this is a book about a woman named Sloane. I believe she's 36 or 37, and her birthday's about to come. And her husband, Joel, who she's been with for many, many years, surprises her with a birthday trip for her and her best friend Naomi to go to this like sort of retreat in the woods for a few days on their own. And at first she's kind of like, well, okay, but you kind of get the vibe that she's a little, as much as she loves Naomi, she's kind of wary about going away for a trip with her. You get the feeling she's, a little wild, and that's just not where Sloane is in her life anymore. Anyway, so they go, and it's, these beautiful cabins. There's valet service. They get taken from the main lodge to their own cabin, and they decide they're going to have some fun. Well, Naomi, the best friend, especially decides they're going to have some fun. So they go out one night, and Naomi meets some people, and then they go home later that night. But then the next day, Naomi plans this wild night for them. And that's kind of where things go from there. The night turns into something that Sloane certainly never expected, Naomi neither, and it changes their lives forever. And I enjoyed it. I know it's not going to be for everyone. There's not a lot of plot. It's more just vibes. And so it's a vampire story in that they get turned into vampires. I don't think that's a huge spoiler. I kind of think you know that going in. They get turned into vampires, and they, their lives are changed. So yeah, not a lot of plot, mostly vibes. It's kind of about the first few days of these two women being vampires and the day-to-day of how that goes. And it goes off the rails. As you might imagine. So now's the time, I guess, to click away. This book talk's not going to be as long as they sometimes are. Just because, like I said, there's not a ton of plot. But I loved it. I had fun. I think it's a 4-star. Maybe a 5-star, but definitely a 4-star. Yeah, and I would recommend if that sounds interesting, if you like vampires. And I kind of liked the way the vampires are in here. It's really like all the old lore is debunked. They're like, no, you can go out in the sun, you won't feel great, but it's fine, and garlic doesn't really do anything, you don't have to ask before you enter someone's home, things like that. So it's just kind of like this run-of-the-mill boring reality vampires sort of deal. And I had fun with it. I would have read more if it was longer. Yeah. So now we're gonna get into the spoilers. So if you don't want the spoilers sucked out of the story, now's the time to beat it. Okay. Anyway, okay. There's not a lot to tell you. They get changed by this eccentric group of misfits that have found each other over the centuries, and they've kind of got a found family thing going on. The night they meet them, it's at this big old house, and there's at one point Sloane's like, did you bring me to an orgy? And Naomi's like, no, I don't think so. And things kind of escalate from there. What we learn about Sloane and her husband is that he's been cheating on her for years. She knows of 3 times, one of which she just found out about while she's on this birthday trip that he planned for her. So she's kind of like, she's over it. And a lot of the story kind of brings in the notion of it's never too late. You know, it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to try something new, because Sloane has a lot of feelings about getting older. And I thought that was interestingly woven into there. There's a lot of thoughts and like writing on the kind of relationship we have with friends that have known us since we were young, and how that's a different kind of friendship than someone that you meet when you're already older. Not that it's any better or worse, but it's just different. And I really liked that, looking at that. Anyway, they're at this house. There's something in the basement, which we later learn is like this sort of cannibal creature that they're trying to contain. These vampires are trying to contain him. He gets out. He attacks Naomi. She's going to die. The, I guess, main vampire, Henry, who Sloane is having some chemistry with, he's like, listen, the choice is yours. We can let her die and then kill you, or we can turn both of you. And at this point, she's like, she doesn't know what that means, but she's like, okay, well, I don't want to die. So they get changed. The next morning, she's like, we're leaving. And they're like, okay, but like, it's going to be a little tough for a few days while you adjust. And she's like, I don't care, we're leaving. They go, they end up killing, I think it's 3 people. When they're out, because the thirst is so strong, they don't know how to properly nourish themselves. It's a whole mess. They're leaving bodies in their wake. Eventually the group finds them, because they've been following them this whole time. And so eventually they go back to the group. And then it's, like I said, it's just a lot of vibes, like traveling around, learning about being a vampire. This group tries to get the majority of their blood from blood banks at hospitals. And Sloane is having often like this crisis of conscience where, you know, she doesn't want to be killing people, obviously. And she's like, well, I don't want to be robbing blood banks either. Those people donated to save lives. But then she's like, well, I guess in a roundabout way, they're still saving lives, because us drinking that blood is stopping us from killing people. This whole thing. Then there's this big massacre at a gas station, which happened right before the group came and found them. And, it was very funny. It wasn't funny. I mean, it kind of was, but, yeah, the book was a lot of fun. Naomi, there was a lot of times, especially at first, I didn't like her character at all, but she grew on me. She's like that friend, and maybe if you don't have this particular friend, you won't get her, but like, she's like that friend that maybe a lot of us have, that's like, just really wild and is always pulling you into situations that maybe you don't want to be in, but then you go along with it because you love her, and then you end up having fun. It's kind of that. She's kind of that friend. And yeah, she grew on me. Then there's a part towards the end where Naomi almost dies. She almost dies, but then the group find her and then save her. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I could see this being a TV show. I would watch the heck out of this as a TV show. I'd watch 10 seasons of it. And yeah, then there's a cute epilogue where it's like there's these 2 American girls in Prague, and they see this group of ragtag eclectic individuals, and of course it's the vampire group. And then we don't see Sloane and Naomi with them at first. I remember trying to count how many there were to see if they were included, and then Sloane and Naomi come walking down the street, and the 2 girls are looking at them like, oh my god, so beautiful, so confident. It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, there you go, you guys. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to go back to bed now so I can rest up. I got sick on, what's today, Tuesday? I got sick yesterday morning, and it's wiped me out. But I wanted to come. I finished this. I wanted to come and film this before too much time passed and I forgot. But there you go. And this, look at this lip. It's very sparkly. I can't tell if it looks crazy or not, but it didn't look this intense off camera. Anyway, if you made it this far and you haven't already, I hope you'll subscribe. I would love to have you here, and thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.